Hi you guys, my name is Cherita. Welcome to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about this challenge called Pull Up or Shut Up. And basically what this is, it's a campaign for companies specifically makeup companies, beauty companies, to show that they have diversity within their company. If you guys are interested in this video, go ahead and keep watching. Before I get started, make sure you click subscribe for new content whenever I post. And also do not forget to click the notification bell so that you are notified every single time that I post a video. So let's get started. So a couple days ago, Jackie Aina did this video on Instagram, and basically she was talking about, because of what happened with George Floyd and how everybody started paying attention to Black Lives Matter and the movement, there were a lot of makeup brands who were posting a black square for Blackout Tuesday, but it seemed very performative. And basically, Jackie was like, all right, so I appreciate you doing this, but we need to find out if this is performative or if you guys truly care about your Black creators and your Black customers and Black employees. So she shared this Instagram page, Pull Up or Shut Up. I think it's called Pull Up for Change. And she basically shared and said, listen, for 72 hours, do not purchase any beauty products. So, and allow these companies to show how diverse their employees are. What kind of diversity do they have when it comes to not just employees, but upper management and executives and things like that. So if you go to that Instagram page, the Pull Up for Change, you will see a plethora of companies who have either put out the statistics of their employees or those who have not. And I do want to talk about a few of them specifically. But before I get into that, I just want people to understand why this is so important. So when it comes to Black women and men in the makeup industry, we spend a lot of money on makeup. At one point, we were spending more money for higher brands because those brands were actually making shades and they were making makeup that worked for our skin tone. However, we still wanted to buy from these smaller companies, these indie brands, but it wasn't accessible to us because of our skin tone. They were only making they were only making 7 shades or 5 shades or whatever. So collectively, as a Black community, it was like, all right, we're gonna stop supporting these people because clearly they don't care about us, and clearly they don't have diversity on their team. Because a person of color, a Black person or a darker skinned person of color would be like, hey, just to let y'all know, this makeup doesn't work for me, so maybe we should include all skin tones. So diversity right now and inclusivity, unfortunately, is a brand new thing when it comes to cosmetics, but I truly believe in don't buy where they wouldn't hire you. And it's very apparent what makeup companies just don't care about. They don't care about people of color, they don't care about Black people, they just care about the money, they just care about being performative. You know, they're posting these Black Lives Matters and these charities, but their actions do not reflect what they're saying. And it's like, I don't care about words, show me your actions. And there are some who basically were like, well, we're not gonna show you anything. Kind of a weird way to say that you just don't hire Black people, instead of just saying, hey, we don't hire Black people, but we plan on doing it. I mean, this is like the new affirmative action, I guess. People act like there are not qualified Black people to do these jobs. They act like there's not qualified Black people for these positions. And I'm just saying, it would just make companies run a lot smoother if they had diversity, so that somebody could come in and say, well, from my point of view, me being a Black person, me being this person, this is how I would do it. But again, I digress. So the first brand I want to start out with is LA Girl. Now, LA Girl, and I'm gonna put the screenshots up here and I'll read a little bit of it, but if you want to read it on your own, you can pause it. But LA Girl basically said, LA Girl Cosmetics is a certified minority-owned and family-owned business. To respect our employees of all backgrounds and to protect their privacy, we will not be disclosing percentages. And I just thought that's kind of weird for them to word it that way. I mean, they did say diversity, but in what context? Why do they not want to put out the percentages? I don't know. I think it's weird. People want accountability, but when you say things like this, it makes it seem like you're hiding something and you just don't care about any other community but your own. So there's gonna be a lot of people who refuse to shop LA Girl. I bet you. I guarantee it. So then we have Anastasia Beverly Hills. ABH has been problematic in the past, and I actually did a video calling Norvina out, and they put out a statement. And the statement that I'm referring to is how they are going to give back to Black Lives Matter, and they're gonna do better about supporting Black influencers and this and that. Well, when you put out a statement like this, and then people are coming forward with their statements about you in the past, it's very, very performative. There is a influencer, I have her on both Twitter and TikTok, Taj. She put out this statement basically calling out ABH about how they didn't pay her what she was deserved, and now all of a sudden that she put her statement out, they want to work with her. And people have been calling out ABH for doing Black influencers dirty for years. Do you guys remember when Jackie Aina did her ABH palette? Oh, this look. Shout out to Jackie Aina. But when Jackie Aina put out her ABH palette, when I tell you nobody, no big beauty gurus supported her in her collab, and not even, I don't know, like 2 weeks after the Jackie Aina palette launched, they put out another palette. I don't remember which one it was, but they didn't even allow Jackie's palette to shine for like a full month before they're throwing all these other things. Jackie, as a Black woman, did not get the same advantage as everybody else does or did. And then they want to go back and say, oh, we're going to donate money, we're going to do this, we're going to do that. Why don't y'all just listen to Black people to begin with? Why don't y'all just go, oh, they want more Black influencers on PR? Sure. Oh, they want more Black men and women on our page? Sure. But don't put out statements like this only to look performative. Say that's what you're doing. Hold yourselves accountable, because it's not a good look. It is not a good look. So then we have Morphe. Morphe also put out a statement. They say that they have 3% of Black people who work for them, which, okay, cool. We know there's not a lot of Black people that work for you. And they also talked about how they have to have more Black representation in this, that, and the other. However, you work with so many problematic racist people. How can you say that you want to be there for the Black community while stepping on their necks at the same time? How can you do that? And I understand, yes, it's a lot of work to do, but just remember that the Black dollar is something you should be looking forward to, because Black people just don't spend their money all willy-nilly on whatever. If we like what you have to put out, we're gonna spend our money on it. But when we feel like you're not listening to us, then we're not going to give you our money. That's why people always say, hit them in their pockets, hit them where it hurts. Then maybe you'll listen, but why does it take that for people to listen? Milk Makeup is another one of the first ones that I saw that put out a statement saying, hey, we only have 4 Black people that work for us, which is 9% of their employees, which is whatever. They did say that they take full accountability for not having the representation that they should, and that they began a partnership with another company to help with representation and yada, yada, yada. However, again, another black content creator came out and said, let me tell you about how Milk treated me while I worked for them as a black person. So then of course they had to come out with another statement. It was an apology letter. And things like this just cannot keep happening. Have you noticed there's a lot of Twitter pages, there's a lot of Twitter handles, you should have listened to black people, you should have listened to us to begin with? So now I want to get on to Kylie Cosmetics. And the only reason why is because what they put out says 13% black, 47 BIPOC, which if you don't know means Black Indigenous people of color. So those black people, the 13%, does that include the 47%? Or do they just not understand what POC and Black Indigenous POC means? Because when you're talking about people of color, you're talking about every person of color. You're talking natives, you're talking black people, you're talking Asians, you're talking Latinos, that is POC. When you're talking specifically about black people, black or Black Indigenous people of color. So, which one is it? Is it people of color or is it black people? But that's another thing, is I feel like people are just throwing words out there, not knowing 100% what they mean. So now let's move on to Glow Recipe. Glow Recipe did the same thing that LA Girl did. They basically said, hey, listen, we support Black Lives Movement, but we don't feel comfortable giving our percentages, which to me is a funny way of saying, hey, we don't have that many, or we only have one, which it's not. I mean, it's a problem, but if you're willing to admit it, it really is not a problem. Just admit it and then fix it. So I was on Here for the Tea's Instagram, and there was a picture of a Zoom meeting of everybody from Glow Recipe, and it was very non-people of color-ish, but it's a small company, so I don't understand why they felt the need to hide behind these numbers. But again, it is what it is. Now the last company that I want to talk about is Sugarpill. Y'all, this was probably the most problematic statement I've ever heard, and I'm gonna read majority of it. I have something to get off my chest. I've noticed a trend called pull up or shut up, and it honestly upsets me. I understand that seeing companies with a diverse workspace is amazing and great, but this is not it. People aggressively demanding companies to disclose how many black people work there is just as bad as only hiring people based on the color of their skin for good face. I know I was hired in my job because I was fitted for the position and proved I was a hard worker. This is like when universities use black people as a number to their statistics as a fact. If that is not the epitome of white privilege, I do not know what is. I hate when people say, oh, I worked so hard to get to where I was. Does that mean that black people are not working as hard? No, that means black people have to work 5 times as hard to prove that they're good enough. Don't believe me? Do I have to continue to use this metaphor about Jackie and her subscription count on YouTube? Do I have to keep doing that? Because Jackie's been on YouTube for 12 years, 10, 12 years. She has 3 million subscribers, which is amazing. Proud of her. Love her for it. You have all these other white influencers who have been on YouTube less time than her. And I'm talking by like years. And they are almost in the 20 millions. Does she not work hard enough? Because I'm pretty sure she does. So miss me with the I work just as hard. I agree, and I'm not saying that people have not worked hard to get to where they are. But the reason why more white people are where they are is based on their skin color. Black people have to work harder. They have to prove that they're not some stereotype. They have to prove they're not this. They have to prove they're not that. The only thing that white people have to prove is that they are qualified for the job. I have to prove that I'm qualified for the job and more. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to go to the Instagram page and just scroll through and see what these companies are saying. See if your fave is on there, because I guarantee y'all faves is not on there. Not that they need to be on there, because we saw what we saw in the series. We saw what we saw. However, y'all are gonna you're still gonna give them money. So I don't even know why I put that part in there. But just scroll through and look at your faves and just see what people are saying. See if they have a diverse amount of people, and stay on their necks. This is a movement, not a moment. This is something that needs to continue for eternity. This just can't be oh, do you remember when they were just hiring black people just to hire them? No, this is a movement. Support your black creators. And if your faves refuse, stop supporting them. I'm not saying that we're only buying black, or we're only... Support people that would support you. I think that's it for today's video. I know it was kind of but like I said, go to the Instagram page and just scroll and you'll see a lot. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. That helps me out a lot. Also, do not forget to link up with me on my social media. All of that information will be down below in the description box. And until my next video, I'll see you guys later. Bye!